We all love a good plot twist. It catches us off guard, throws us off our feet, and gives us something to talk about after the movie ends. Unfortunately, not all plot twists are created equally. Some leaves us extremely satisfied, wondering to ourselves, that makes so much sense, how did I not see it coming? While some other ones just feel cheap and undeserving. Now before we go any further, because this video is talking about plot twists and endings, it will contain spoilers for the movie Primal Fear, Fight Club, and Sixth Sense. So recently, a friend of mine recommended me the movie Primal Fear, and he didn't spoil anything. In fact, I went into the movie without even knowing what the movie is actually about. I didn't watch any trailers, watch any reviews, nothing. I wanted an authentic, unbiased experience of this movie. But there is one thing that he mentioned. It's pretty much the only thing that I knew about this movie, except for the fact that Edward Norton is in it. And the only thing he told me was that there's a plot twist. But knowing this fact changed everything. So about halfway through the movie, the moment it was revealed that Edward Norton's character Aaron Stampler suffers from multiple personality disorder, the first thought that came to my mind was the fact that, the plot twist must be he's faking it. And it wasn't even like I was trying to figure out what the plot twist was going to be, that kind of just came to me as I was watching the movie. And this got me thinking, how and why did this thought come to my mind? And I started thinking back to all the movies that I've watched with plot twist endings, the good and the bad, and I think I figured out a key component to making a plot twist great. And it's the idea of duality. Alright, let me explain. A plot twist is extremely satisfying when it makes sense, right? And it makes sense because when we look back on what happened throughout the movie, we realize that this twist has been hinted at us throughout this entire time, we just didn't see it. That's also what gives these movies high rewatch value. After knowing the ending, we can look back on what happened throughout the movie and pick up on all these hints and realize how the twist had been set up from the beginning. And the best type of hints are the ones that become extremely obvious upon rewatch. We realize that they're right there, hidden in plain sight, staring at us right in the face. If you think about it, it's kind of like the classic ambiguous image of the duck and the rabbit. You start off by seeing the rabbit, and the moment I tell you it's a duck, you can see the duck. Or vice versa. So how do you hint at the audience about the twist without revealing or giving away too much? You give these hints a double meaning. And this is the idea of duality I was talking about before. Think about it. The reason why we don't pick up on these hints upon first viewing is not because we forgot that they exist or we didn't understand what they meant. We simply just interpreted them differently. For example, in Fight Club, when the narrator says,
I nod off, I wake up in strange places, I have no idea how I got there.
This could be interpreted as memory lapse or sleepwalking from insomnia. But at the same time, after we learn about the twist, this can now be interpreted differently. His personality switches to Tyler Durden during these times, which is why he doesn't remember.
Except for their humping, Tyler and Marla were never in the same room. My parents pulled this exact same act for years.
Initially, upon the first viewing, we interpret this as Tyler and Marla having a toxic relationship, hence the reference to narrator's parents. However, the alternative interpretation after we learn about the twist is that because Tyler is the narrator, when he's in the room with Marla as himself, he cannot simultaneously exist as Tyler, hence why he never sees Tyler and Marla in the same room together. And also when the narrator punches himself in the face in his boss's office and says,
For some reason I thought of my first fight with Tyler.
Upon first viewing, we just think the narrator said it because, well, it did remind him of the first time he had a fight with Tyler. But after we knew the twist, we now have a different interpretation. It reminds him of his fight with Tyler because he is Tyler. So him punching himself is the same as Tyler punching him. The same can be applied to the hints in Sixth Sense. The movie even goes as far as to show us these alternative interpretations after the twist is revealed. This is probably one of my favorite hints to a plot twist. When Malcolm was late to his dinner with his wife, we initially interpreted it as his wife is ignoring him because he was late to their anniversary. However, at the end we realized that it was because he was never there in the first place, because he is dead, and his wife was commemorating her anniversary alone by herself. And when the boy says,
I see dead people walking around like regular people. They don't see each other. They only see what they want to see. They don't know they're dead.
we now realize that as much as it was referring to the other dead people he sees, it also refers to Malcolm. Both of these movies are great at setting up the plot twist by hiding the hints in plain sight, and we don't pick up on these hints not because they weren't obvious, but because we interpreted them differently. So the moment the ending reveals us the truth, we suddenly realize that we have been interpreting everything the wrong way. I think this is also why I was able to figure out the ending of Primal Fear quite effortlessly without trying. Because, well, after knowing that there will be a twist at the end, my mind just naturally gravitated towards doubting these moments with potential duality in its meaning. So when it was revealed to us that Aaron has two personalities, and he did indeed kill the priest, just in his other personality, the only twist that can really happen is that, well, he's faking his multiple personality disorder. If you think about it, these movies with plot twists are very much similar to those ambiguous images like the duck and the rabbit. I don't necessarily have to point it out to you and say that there is a duck and a rabbit in an image. If I say you can see two animals in this image, you probably figure out what those animals are by yourself. And I think the same applies to movies with twists. If you go into a movie knowing that there is a twist ending, you will naturally start looking for these hints, these alternative interpretations of what is being said and shown on screen. So I guess at the end of the day, if you were to take away one thing from this video, remember this. If you are recommending a movie to a friend because of its amazing plot twist ending, do not tell them that there is a plot twist.